Welcome to EthanLive. Today is Tuesday, right? Tuesday,
Uh-huh. Yep. All
February
day.
February the 24th. How are you today?
I'm good. How about you?
Just running errands, trying to get some things done.
Oh,
Always doing some
okay.
Ethan Marting stuff. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Getting lots of feedback from the movie releases.
yeah.
Oh, they mentioned you. I was going to tell you on the Ben and Kelly radio show this morning.
Oh,
They
they
talked
did.
about Ethan's movie again.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
that was very kind of them. What?
Yeah, they are. They're very good about doing that during their, what is it, their feel good something,
Yeah.
yeah, they have that segment every day. Well, you were on the feel good episode or the
Oh well, that's
segment
that's better than being on the
on the bad
Jefferson
list.
County Roundup.
There you go.
Well,
Oh,
since you brought that up, we'll start with that. A big announcement yesterday is
yes.
Selma Blair has signed on to be in the movie, and Trevor Donovan. So we're
Right.
super excited about that. We've got a couple. There's a couple other people that their announcements will come pretty soon. It looks
Uh-huh.
like we're going to be filming. I say we, like I'm part of, like I'm
Well,
not filming
you are.
anything. I'm just
You
going to
are.
watch.
My goodness, it wouldn't happen
April
without you and Ethan. So, yeah.
I think the schedule is April 20th to May 15th,
Okay.
in and around
Exciting.
town in Louisville.
Okay. Well, I think it's wonderful that both Selma and Trevor are obviously very interested in animals and animal rescues, animal issues. So perfect casting there by Tawny for sure. So,
Well, and we may have talked about it before, but Sean Patrick Flannery uh,
uh-huh.
was very interested. We're excited because he was very interested in this role in particular. He has some rescue dogs, so um,
A super,
for
super,
all
super
folks.
cast so far then. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
excited.
Today is National Tortilla Chip Day.
Oh, you'll celebrate that one
Oh,
if you have
for
some
sure. Yeah.
salsa.
Yeah, for sure. Uh,
Yeah.
let's see, what else day is it? I hate coriander day.
Oh.
National Trading Card Day. Ethan's got a lot of little trading cards.
Yes, he does.
National Steak Burger Day.
Okay.
Uh, oh, it is World Bartender Day,
Oh,
and
okay.
it is also World Spay Day.
Oh, well, that's a good one. That's an
Yeah,
important one. Speaking of,
yeah. So
which
if
you were,
anyone is watching and they want to join, I put the link in the first comment there. Of how you can actually come on and join. Let me glance and see. I'm not sure if anyone really, if they had any questions or specific court things that anyone wanted to talk about, but we thought we'd give some updates on the latest court things. I don't know. We were just talking. I'm not sure if we've been on since Christina Keller latest in Meade County.
yeah, I don't think we have since we were in court that day. So we can touch on that one.
And then so that was that hoarding case. We call it hoarding case in Meade County, and
Yeah,
several people have a lot of people have come out to talk about
right.
um, their experience with her,
Yeah,
and so then there was another sort of hoarding case here in Jefferson County we were in court for yesterday.
yeah.
And that is Lauren Eaton, who
Uh-huh.
had pearls
Some
for
people, yeah,
paws.
Pearl. I was going to say some people know her as Lauren Pearl, I think, but yes. So
And so, yeah, that was,
it was an interesting day in court all the way around.
it was, yeah. So I guess there was a motion by the defense attorney to, well,
Hmm.
there was a couple of things they wanted. They wanted to make sure that she was willing to give up all 50 dogs so they could be adopted. Uh,
Yes.
and that happened. The one thing she wasn't willing to give up was her four, what she called personal dogs.
Yeah.
Um, and so I guess they're being held at Louisville Metro, from what I understand.
Right, right.
Um,
That was what they were saying
I
yesterday.
don't know.
Yeah.
I just feel like maybe you're as a defense attorney, you tell your client stories. I don't know, but I would think that no matter what she ended up pleading guilty to or was convicted of, she's not getting those 4 dogs back.
No, I mean, we talked about that yesterday. And why is she holding on to him? Because then she's supposed to pay for the time that they're at at Louisville Metro. But it's very strange. They all seem to want to hold on to some or all. We went through that with Morgan Barrick and how long she held on to those animals. What was it, a year and a half, I think,
Yeah, her
before they
restitution was a little over, was almost $400,000.
$400,000. Yes. Uh-huh. But she
Well,
didn't want to surrender.
the interesting thing about that is it's not as a statewide thing.
Uh-huh.
That cost of care isn't a statewide ordinance. In
Right.
Jefferson County, they have a local ordinance for cost of care, and cost of care is basically you've been arrested. We had to confiscate your animals, and
Mm-hmm.
for as long as we hold those, you're going to be responsible for the care.
Responsible.
In
Uh-huh.
other
Yeah.
counties, you can. There's not like a specific cost of care, but you can include that in what that punishment might be, whatever restitution that
Yeah.
might.
Uh-huh. Right. Okay.
So
Because
she's going to be it again. Like you're not getting your dogs back,
no,
right?
no,
So if you care about those dogs,
at all.
like let them
Yes.
adopt them out so they can get out of the shelter.
Yeah.
That would be my stance on it. But
Yeah.
uh,
That would be the compassionate thing to do if you're standing there saying that you've been running a rescue and you care about animals. But it's not the case that we're seeing happen in courtrooms, is it?
no, and so yesterday we popped into a courtroom that had a judge that we had met before. She was
Yes.
nice enough to. They, of course, they weren't hearing cases at the time
Right,
because it
right.
was late in
No,
the
not yet. Courtroom
uh,
is kind of full though with people.
the courtroom was packed, and as we came
Yes.
in, she invited us to come in further, asked me to talk about Ethan and hand out some cards and did some.
Yeah.
So that was another interesting day that had never happened before in the courtroom.
Right. Now
Uh,
you're a guest speaker.
at court, yeah. And then before we left, there was a judge that knew that Ethan was in the building last time and didn't get to see him. So she
Yeah.
asked next time we stopped by if we could come by her courtroom. So we popped into her courtroom, actually, like behind the court,
Yeah, behind her courtroom. Yeah,
uh, so you
exactly.
could see
But
Ethan.
it's starting to feel a little bit like Frankfurt when we go into Jefferson County Courthouse.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, where's Ethan? Ethan's in the building. As soon as he's around, people know it and they come looking for you. But it was very interesting for the judge to let you just address the people that were sitting there
Yep.
because you
Yep.
didn't know if the person that
Well,
was
yeah,
either
and
there
yeah, yeah.
was
So yeah, that was it was definitely an interesting situation.
dynamic.
And
Yeah.
the last few days there have been some things, some interesting things just pop up on the news and social media.
Uh-huh.
Animals. There's a I need to post. There's a case out of Harrison County,
Yeah.
and I'll post about this later on. And so they found 6 uh, puppies that were
Puppies.
killed all along the side of the road in this rural
Mm.
road in Harrison County. When they traced these dogs back, they found them, and I'm going to use just the term backyard breeder because I don't think they were. So they bred these dogs. They'd
Yeah.
had puppies. They'd had on social media. They were trying to find homes for the puppies. They realized these were the same ones, so they went to talk to the people that had these dogs, and they claimed that she gave all 6 of these dogs to one person
Mm-hmm.
and doesn't have a name or contact information for this person at all.
Which is very strange, but
That would be
that's
really
the
odd,
story.
right?
That's the story right now.
And so you can make your own judgments about what that means, and I think a lot of people have.
Uh-huh.
Um, but again, you have to have knowing what happened or assuming what happened is much different than proving it in
For
in
sure.
in a courtroom.
Yeah.
And so they're
Yeah.
looking for some more information, some people that might know some more about the situation and can
Hmm.
come forward and provide the Harrison County Sheriff's Department with some more
With some
additional
information.
information about that.
Right. Yeah,
Trouble.
they need some tangible evidence that they can use. I mean, it's a horrific case, but unless, like you said, unless you've got the evidence, it's not provable at right now. So,
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's just not, and it's got to be.
no.
I mean, it has to be. It's got. I mean, there are how many cases have popped up over the last couple of years, and
Oh,
reached out and
goodness.
said, you know, can you help apply Ethan's law to this? And you get
Uh-huh.
the facts and the information, and you know, the worst thing you have to tell them is, I think we all know what happened here, but you're
There's
not going
not
to be able to
enough.
prove that unless
Right.
there's some video, unless there's a witness. There's just some things you can't prove, and in a courtroom, that's what you've got to do.
Yeah.
Be able to
Yeah. That's the way the system works, and we have to work within it. So, yeah, hopefully somebody will come forward and say something, because somebody has to know more than what's out there right now. So hopefully
yes.
somebody will do the right thing and come forward with some more evidence. But right now, like you said, they don't have anything to base anything on. So
Mm-mm,
they
no.
did do necropsies, correct? Those were
Yeah,
done.
I think they sent all 6 dogs off for necropsy, so they'll know
Yeah.
what. I think they have a pretty good idea um, before necropsy, but when they get that back, they'll know, you know,
Yeah.
how those dogs were killed.
Right.
We did have a question earlier about Morgan Barrick. Do we know anything about um, her this date that she has coming up? Um,
In April, for probation, is that what they're asking?
yeah, for that probation hearing that she has
Mm-hmm.
coming up. Um,
Yeah, yeah. The last I checked, which was probably about a week ago, she has not been transferred to a prison facility. She is still in the jail. So I keep watching to see if they will transfer, because I keep thinking if they're not transferring her, then they think maybe there is a good probability of her getting a parole, because otherwise I think they would have transferred her. But I'll keep an eye on it. Like I said, she was still in the Hardin County Jail the last I checked.
so with the judge's ruling, with him upping the those
The
from one
sentence.
from
Hmm.
one sentence of 2 years to three, she needed to serve 14 months in jail. As I've
Right.
asked around and tried to figure out why she would be eligible for a parole hearing so soon, uh, really the answer I've gotten is that once you're incarcerated, there are different
Right.
things and different programs you can do to lessen that amount of time.
Yes.
And the person I talked to just assumed that she must have done a few of those things to get a parole hearing, which doesn't mean she's going to get parole. Uh,
Right.
which
True.
is why we kind of ask folks to go on the Vine system and sign up for Vine, which is
Hmm.
the system that notifies you for any person that you put their information in for when
Correct.
they're being let out of jail or up for parole or something like that. And so you can, it's very simple to do. Get on Vine, and then you just pick her in the county, and you'll start
Yes.
getting um,
Yeah.
some
You'll get
notifications.
notifications. Yes. Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
through that Vine system, I've been told there is a way. There will be a way to enter some information, uh, kind of like a victim impact statement that the parole board will hear at the hearing or read at the hearing. Not that you'll be able
Uh-huh.
to say it, but if you submit something, they'll read it.
Yes, yeah. And I mean, those impact statements certainly impacted what the judge did. So might be a very important time again to let your voice be heard when she comes up for parole. So
Yeah.
follow up on
So
that.
that's coming up. Morgan Barrick.
Yeah,
We've got um,
I
you
had.
called today on a, and have an update on Zach Rollins.
Yes, if people remember, he's the one with the cat named Bunny that he bit the ears off. And we were in court a couple of times for him. He was supposed to have a jury trial that was going to start soon. So I had been watching and watching to make sure that the date was still um, current for what the information I had. And all of a sudden, the case was not on CourtNet. So I called once and they couldn't give me any information, but I did call back today and talk to a couple of different people. But the good part of it, he has pled guilty. So that's why the jury trial obviously was not necessary. So they are waiting now. She could not tell me yet what the sentencing date is, and there was no recommendation yet from the judge, because I found out sometimes, I know with Jeffrey Horseman, when I called, there was a recommendation for a sentence before the sentencing date,
Uh-huh.
because I remember I shared that with you, Jeff, that what the judge had recommended. So I don't know if that'll be the case again, but I'll keep checking back. The lady today was again very helpful. I spoke to somebody last week that was not as helpful. This lady knew Ethan. She knew who you were. She knew what the situation was. She knew that you get involved with cases across Kentucky, and she went out of her way to look for the information that I was trying to find. So I was very appreciative. So
I'm very appreciative she gave you the information. I'm very uh, unhopeful. Is
I
that
am too. I'm
about?
afraid that it's not going to
Yeah.
be the sentence that we want to
Yeah.
see. I'm afraid it's going to be another case of probation. But again, I will check. That way, if we can find out ahead of time when the sentencing is, I don't know if there are people involved that can do some impact statements in that county. I don't know. I'll keep an eye on it and see when the sentencing is.
Well, that's a good one to reach out to. I'm going to make a note to reach out to the Commonwealth Attorney there in Pulaski County
Yes, I
and see if
thought
we
you
can get.
probably would. When I finally got the information today, I told the lady, I said, well, Jeff will probably be in touch with somebody over at the office. So
I feel like that if they've got a deal and they're just waiting for sentencing, they would be able to tell us what that is.
yeah, yeah, I would say so from the Commonwealth. It's not in her, wasn't in any of the folder, the case file yet.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that's another one. And just for people too, Jeff, we keep waiting on the Scott County,
Yep.
just now they are supposed to have a pretrial March the 5th. So that is coming up again,
Yes.
because that
March
has been
5th.
going on for a long time. So that's
Yeah.
Blue
Well
Phoenix for
over a
people.
year. Yeah. So March
Yes.
5th, they have a hearing. That would
Uh-huh.
mean March the 6th is the next hearing for the lady in Jefferson County. That,
Other
sorry.
cases that are coming up in March. Oh, I think the sound was weird for a minute. But Jakara Reed is coming up for a pretrial in March. You mentioned Lauren Eaton, didn't you? Jason Basham in Meade County is finally going to come back up too. So that's March the 5th. So that's one that we've been watching too.
So Meade County's
And
March the 5th, Scott County's March the 5th.
uh-huh. And then
Okay.
Megan Edlin in Franklin County, but she was charged with cruelty, so that's been changed to cruelty. Toralina Fields in Robertson has a pretrial in March, on the 9th of March.
Okay.
And Jackie Harden in Henderson County is back up for another review on March the 2nd. So several of those. And then I've got a few more to call to see what their last newest date is. So may have some more in March.
Okay.
But these are people, like we said, that have been going on for, these cases are over a year old. We spoke to several ladies yesterday in Jefferson County, and they were there for the Lauren Eaton case. And they were just presuming that, a couple of appearances and it would all be resolved. And we were like, I hate to tell you that, these cases go on for often over a year. I mean, we've got some for over a year and a half that are still going. So we just keep
Yeah.
following,
Yeah.
keep watching.
It's interesting that the they keep the courts are so backed up. Uh,
Uh-huh.
and there's one particular, well, Henry County was they call
Yeah.
we call there because of a particular person there, Jason Brown,
Jacob Brown.
Jacob Brown, um,
Hmm.
and we're told they're still backed up from COVID.
Yes.
The
That's what
only
that's,
courthouse we've been told that in the whole state, they're still backed up from COVID. They need
yeah.
to, if they're backed up from COVID, they need to hire a few more folks.
Isn't, yeah, I think that's the case for
And
sure. But
so
yeah, that's what we
so
were told.
the court systems are back up with a ton of stuff, not just animal stuff. So a ton of stuff. So that's
Uh-huh.
why when things like this SB 45 pop up,
Yeah.
and I don't know if we've been on here since I've talked about
No,
that.
no, I don't think we have, Jeff.
So
So,
SB 45 introduced by Senator Robin Webb, um, and it went to the Agricultural Committee.
mm-hmm.
She at that point claimed more that it was, before she got some pushback, that it was an agribusiness, agri-commerce bill. She even had someone speak to the committee that doesn't live in Kentucky, and they kept saying in that committee, they're coming for your thoroughbreds, they're coming for your horse shows, they're coming for your whatever. And I kept thinking to myself, even at that time, who is they? Like, who are
Good
these
point.
people? Who are these people that are coming for all of our stuff, right?
I don't know. You need to define your
So,
pronoun there, who you're referring to, don't they?
so it passed that ag committee. We did had every
Yes.
intention that it was going to pass that. In fact, I was pleasantly surprised there were 12 no votes. Um,
Uh-huh.
so it goes to the Senate floor immediately and gets a one reading. Next day, second reading. Next day, third reading, and they were going to vote on it.
Yeah.
And so, Senator Robin Webb stood up and immediately said, "This is not a puppy mill bill." And maybe she had seen that in a few places. I made sure I never said anything about that.
No, you never mentioned
I
that.
don't I
No.
don't I'm not using those terms.
Uh-huh.
But she could have easily said, this is not an animal bill at all. This is an
Uh-huh.
agricultural, agribusiness, agritourism bill, and not even mention the animals. But
Right.
she didn't. She said, quote, "This is a working animal protection act."
Mm.
So then you think to yourself, that sounds really good. Let's protect these
Yes.
animals. Who are the working animals? So you go look
Well,
that up to
that's
try
the
to
whole
find,
point.
and
Uh-huh.
there is no working animal category in
Definition.
Kentucky, but you know where it's at? The very next paragraph down.
Of course it is.
So she created there was, and they kept saying in the committee meeting, this is a preemptive bill, and a preemptive bill from I don't know what, but um, uh, there's no one that is coming for that. So it just made it interesting to me that um, she created the issue
Uh-huh.
only so she could create the
The bill.
solution for the issue that she created,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
And
Right.
so people say, well, how is that? What does that do? How does that impact? What's the problem with that? Well, when you create this agritourism, agri-commerce, whatever, and you're saying that this is my agribusiness. What that bill is saying, it doesn't have anything in that bill about your property, wherever you are, your farm, your ranch, your house, your apartment. It has to be zoned for agricultural purposes. It doesn't say that at
Mm-hmm.
all. It
Okay.
just says that if you use these animals, these working animals, and they can be
Uh-huh.
anything, in your agribusiness, if there are any local statutes or ordinances that put an undue burden on your agribusiness, they
Mm-hmm.
are void and unenforceable.
That's the dangerous part.
So where you
Yeah.
see a lot of different ordinances in different places around the state will be with local ordinances saying you can only have this many animals, or
Uh-huh.
you can only have your bright lights on at this particular time, or there's a noise
Right.
ordinance, or something like that. Well,
Uh-huh.
all you have to do is claim this is part of my agribusiness, and so your local noise ordinance, your traffic ordinance, your
Do
however
not.
many animals I can have ordinance are void and unenforceable. Now, take that a step further. You could have an apartment in, let's say, Louisville, Kentucky, and
Uh-huh.
that person's got 10 dogs and they're all living in some terrible situation.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe the local ACO comes in and says, hey, you can't have that many dogs in that apartment. That violates this particular ordinance. They just say, well, that's my agribusiness.
Mm-hmm.
Your
Exactly.
ordinance doesn't apply to me.
Apply. Mm-hmm.
And and all right, so could you take that to court? Yeah. Do the state statutes, are they still in play? The 125
Oh,
525 125 through
but
135, are they still in play? Maybe, probably. Who knows? But if you
And
have a
how
good
long does it
attorney,
sit in court?
well, if
Yeah.
you have
And
a
then
good
we're,
attorney, you could really argue that.
uh-huh.
Number one, and number two, all you're doing is bogging down the court system even more,
Right.
right?
Right.
And like she as she tells us just about every time she stands up to speak, what does Senator Robin Webb do for a living? She's an
Yeah.
attorney.
Mhm.
Shocking, isn't it?
Yeah, it
And
kind
so
of
what?
is,
So
isn't
you
it?
say what do you think they're trying to accomplish? Well, Senator Robin Webb was one of the people that was behind the puppy land or the pet land
Mhm.
puppy grant bill last year, trying to
Uh-huh.
prevent that from happening.
Who
And so,
strongly opposed
and you say
Ethan's
that bill's,
law.
where maybe, so you start digging a little bit deeper and you say to yourself, okay, well, is this bill really on its merit what it says? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
well, if you're really trying to help that, then you put some different things in that bill talking about um, that you've got to be zoned for agriculture, your
Right.
agribusiness. Take
Uh-huh.
take dogs and cats out of it. You know,
Uh-huh.
number one, I don't even think the working animals even has to be in there. What is again? What's the problem
What?
now? There's not an issue
Yeah.
right, right.
No.
So many people use animals for their agribusiness, agritourism,
Uh-huh.
whatever that might be. There doesn't seem to be an issue now. I haven't heard anything about
No.
it. The
No.
only issue that came up
No.
was you couldn't run these big, large kennels and basically run these people that provide animals to these places.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So it did pass the Senate. It went to committee on committees.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. While I'm on here, let's look it up real quick. I'm not
Were
sure
they
that.
supposed to have a reading to or something today?
No, but now that you say
Oh,
that,
kind. Oh, it
it
was.
did pass out of
Oh,
committee
good.
today.
Okay. Well, that's
So
good.
that's excellent
You'll
news.
have to
Bill
explain
was
that one, Jeff.
Cayenne's bill was the bill that was named after a little boy in Oldham County, a 10
Mm-hmm.
or 11-year-old boy that was killed by his mother. And so this bill would provide um,
Training.
training for animal control officers when they go in
Mm-hmm.
to investigate an animal abuse case, provide them with training to recognize other abuse.
Child. Uh-huh.
Uh,
Right.
and so there was a couple comments about they didn't want ACO officers to turn into social workers, which is completely ridiculous. The social
Oh.
work these ACO officers wouldn't be doing the investigation; they're just able to report it back to the people that can do. Uh,
Well, I mean, it's the same. Are you going to use the same reasoning that a police officer shouldn't be going into a home and act as a social worker either? I mean, seriously, if there's somebody in there, then they can report something that's going on and save a life. That is the whole point of it. So
yeah, so that did pass, I believe.
great.
I believe I'm reporting this correct. I think there was a committee substitute that was put on it that gives counties the option to opt out.
Okay. Okay. Ugh, well, that weakens it quite a bit, doesn't it?
Who opts out of something like that? I
I
mean,
don't know. Why and I don't know. Those are the kinds of things that you just shake your head and think, what is the reasoning behind that? Why wouldn't you want somebody in the home that can report something? And especially when we know how tied up they are. If there's one type of abuse going on, there's another. A victim is a victim. So if they see something and can report it, I can't imagine why anybody would have a problem with that. This is one that just seems so straightforward, and I don't understand I'm putting roadblocks in the way, but obviously some of them will. So
yep. I'm trying to look to see if
if
let's see.
they had anything else, and for those people that are kind of remember Ethan's, that when we were working with that bill, when it got to the committee on committees, it kind of just sits there. So if it just goes to the committee on committees and just stays there, then maybe the session will end
And
before.
hopefully um, um, better heads will prevail. It looks
Yes.
like the last reporting on it was Friday the 13th. It was reported to committee on committees, and that's where it still is.
Still there. Okay. Because, we learned kind of the hard way that that's kind of where some bills go to die a slow death in the
Yeah,
Committee on Committees.
yeah.
So hopefully it stays there and
It's
it's
my
not taken up
that's my
anymore.
favorite. That's my favorite committee.
Oh,
Committee,
it
the committee on committees.
I mean, but when we first heard that, before I knew anything about the committees, I remember I was sitting, I think I told you, I was sitting in the rotund, I was in the Senate that day, and I'd heard, it was in the Committee on Committees, and I was talking to a very nice lobbyist who was sitting there with me. And when she asked me, she knew what bill I was waiting, to be called. And she looked at me and she said, "Well, what committee was it assigned to?" And I said, "Oh, it's in the Committee on Committees." I thought that sounded like a really formidable committee. And she looked at me and shook her head and said, "That's not good." And I was like, "Really?" So, yeah, lesson learned that day. So, no, no, I hope this one stays in the Committee on
You
Committees.
hear, yeah, you hear so much about, like, you hear things that, again, you hear things that sound good.
Oh, yeah.
Working Animal Protection Act, it
Oh,
sounds good. Let's
yeah.
all jump
It's
on
all
board
in the
that.
wording, isn't it? Yes, you can do a lot with words, the power of words,
Yeah,
but
committee on
for
committee. That
sure.
sounds really good. Let's hope.
It sounded like, to me, it was like the top of the echelon of committees. I thought, wow, they've given us to the highest committee there is. No, it wasn't the case. So
Uh, so let's see. We've got. So I know
you'll
we
have
talked
to
about.
talk about the possibility of the bill on the registry
Yeah,
for,
probably need to do a little bit more work on that one. Figure out what
but it
needs to happen
will,
there.
yeah,
That.
but it's something you're looking into, and that's a wonderful
Yeah.
thing.
Let's
So
see. That is.
hopefully that will be something that can
Um,
eventually come out.
let's see where that one sits right now.
Yeah, it would be a registry for animal abusers, just like there is for child abusers.
It's in judiciary, House Judiciary right now.
Well, at least it's in judiciary and not in committee on committees. So
Yep.
that's
Uh,
that's
so
good.
we need to find out about a little bit more about Zach Rollins. We've got some things coming up in the first part of March. Uh,
Right.
please reach out. So here's what ends up happening is, because there's no way to just search and look for people that have been arrested for either second degree animal cruelty or the torture statute. Please continue to send those in,
Yes.
because we
Uh-huh.
want to hear about them. And inevitably, we will go to a county because we're following a case, and someone there in the courthouse will tell us about another case in the same county that we've never heard of
Right.
before. So if
Right.
you hear of one,
Right.
please reach out to us. Just email me. It's really simple, Jeff@EthanAlmighty.com. Send me an email. We can start to put it on our radar, start to track it.
Right.
Debbie is starting to create this, what will eventually be this amazing spreadsheet that has the cases, all the judges that we can figure out what's going on, some prosecutors. People need to understand, when it's time to vote again for your
Mm-hmm.
judges, you know,
Yes.
when those elections pop up, we can just say, hey, this particular judge in this county had 5 people that pled guilty to the torture, and not one of them served a day in prison.
Right.
Or on
Exactly.
the other hand, every single one of them served some kind of time in prison.
Yes.
And then, maybe you still vote for them anyway, but maybe that's a decision that you can make where you don't want to vote for that person.
Yeah, because I think a lot of times that's probably one of the areas people know the least about when they go into a voting booth, or they just don't really know the judges that well anyway. So, if we can give any information to help them make a more informed vote, then, and, for example, we're watching the one judge now in Christian County because we already know what he has given on a couple of cases, and we've got a couple more coming up. So if we continue to get probation on all those cases, then that's a judge that we might have to call out.
Yeah. Speaking of which, what is our next our Gmail Tribble? What was his next date? It was early.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's not till July.
Oh yeah, he got pushed to July. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Right.
July. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's a long one. Now, Antonio Attaway, that's another Christian County. Remember him. Now he's March the 11th.
Okay.
So we can keep an eye on him. And that's supposed to be a pretrial. So that's another one there in Christian County that we can kind of watch. And then I've got another one in Christian, John Harden. Is it Harden? No. John Mayan. That's another one. Somebody had given that one to me. And thanks, somebody sent that to me or sent a message. We are waiting for the grand jury on that one.
Good.
And as we've said before, some of these counties, when we wait for a grand jury, if they don't get them in that month, then it's a whole nother month before the grand jury calls that, looks at that case. So I'm watching that one. So got that.
Good old
And
Christian County.
yeah, yeah. So it's what I said. We can certainly start to see what this judge does because we've got enough cases in Christian to see kind of a pattern.
Yep.
So,
Uh,
you know.
so, uh, movie stuff. There's a couple folks in town this week as we're looking around at different
Mm.
venues to film things. So that's going to be really cool. And then a couple announcements for some other folks coming up pretty soon. I was working on this morning,
Uh-huh.
Debbie, to extract the audio from our podcast
Okay.
to put them out on just like the normal podcast platform, like Spotify,
Yeah.
Apple
Uh-huh.
Podcast, that kind of thing. And so it's a deep dive.
Is
So
it?
I started with one today, uh,
Uh-huh.
and you've got to take so there are a ton of ways. Like you can watch this on Ethan's Facebook page, you can watch it on the website, you can watch it on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
It goes away on the Facebook page after a couple of weeks. It stays archived for a little bit on the website. I think they might only keep 10 videos there, but you can go to YouTube and watch any of them. So
Right.
if I go to uh, if I go to like YouTube and I download our audio video podcast,
Uh-huh.
um, I can put that in a program that extracts the audio out of it.
Okay.
And then I take that and save it to my phone. And then I have to
Okay.
move it to files.
Oh
And then I have to
gosh.
put it to a media converter to convert it to
Bird.
MP3. But then I have
Oh.
to send it as a text message to myself because you can't save it from MP3 into your files. It changes it into an MP4, which doesn't work. So I send it as a text message as an MP3 to myself. I save the message and then I move it into files and then I put it on Creator and then I can publish it through Spotify.
Oh
And then
my.
once it's on, but that doesn't, you still have to do a couple extra steps to get it on something like Apple Podcast. So I did one
Oh.
today. I just went as I was scrolling back through. I did like the shortest one. It's like 21 minutes
Uh-huh.
back on February 11th. Put it out there, or I went through that whole process, put it out there. So on Spotify, you can find that one episode. Uh,
Oh.
Apple Podcast, at least the first time, I think I've done this right. It tells me I'm waiting for it to be accepted into the Apple Podcast thing. The first time it
Okay.
generally takes like 24 hours, I think. And then
Okay.
after that, they just pick up the episodes. But I need to go back and go through our archive of what we have on YouTube and slowly do these one at a time and put them out on the podcast platform. And
Wow.
then once I sort of get, uh, I might just start with this one since the newest one, put this one out, and then I'll start going back through and trying to get them out so people can listen to them in their car or while they're at the gym,
Oh,
stuff like that, without getting the video.
okay. Okay. Wow.
Which might be
It's-
people might really like that part of it. They might probably don't even want to look at the video. They just want to.
Oh, good. I was gonna say, and then I can change my bio and change my age and everything because can't see me anyway. So that sounds like a really good plan. I like that.
So anyway, so that is in the works. So actually, on Spotify, you should be able to go on Spotify, search Ethan Almighty, and that should pop up there. Um, I don't know if the older ones, like when I got
Uh,
into the Apple Podcast Connect thing, some of the older episodes that I did with through Ethan Almighty will still there. I don't know if they'll stay there or if they'll move
okay.
around. Some of those were a couple years old. Um,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
anyway, I was just wanting to try to get these into more of a podcast form, so then it's even available to even more people.
Yeah. Well, that's
So
cool.
it just takes a
Ah,
little time.
well, and maybe once you figure it out, maybe it'll be a little easier as you go. I don't know. It sounds like a very involved process there, Jeff, but okay.
It's
Kudos to you for
interesting.
figuring all that out. I
It's
tell you.
interesting. So, all right. So stay tuned. There. Check out if you're anywhere near Central Kentucky. Check out. It looks like there will be for sure. I think WLKY may do a story about movie stuff today. But I
Oh,
that there Lex 18 is going to do something. So
oh,
check that
Lex
out.
18 is
Exciting
our,
stuff.
yeah, they're always good.
Yeah. Exciting,
Okay.
exciting stuff. So,
Yeah.
thank you once again, and we'll keep on top of these court cases and keep people up to date, up to speed. I know some people like to hear about the court cases, other people don't, but it really comes to the heart of what we're doing and what the mission is, and
Yeah.
where we can make the biggest impact and help the most. So,
Exactly. Exactly.
so
And that's just adds to the legacy of Ethan's Law, which
yeah,
is so important. So,
yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So thank you very much, Debbie. I will see
Oh, thank
you
you, Jeff.
later. Thanks everybody for
All
watching.
right.
Check out the Facebook page later. I'll post about this thing in Harrison County. We'll post about some things that'll be coming up very soon.
And keep us informed on anything on the TV channels or anybody picking up something about the movie so we can tune in.
All right. That sounds good.
Okay.
Thanks, Debbie.
All right. Thanks. Bye bye.